Ever feel that sharp, nagging pain that radiates down your back and goes into your leg?
Or maybe it actually is that dull ache that really starts to irritate when you sit for a long time. Even sometimes walking or lying down, you get that ache. It just never goes away.
Well, that condition is called sciatica, and it's actually irritating one of the longest nerves in your leg.
Right, the sciatic nerve. And we actually have a simple stretch that's going to help you get rid of it.
Bob and Brad, the two most famous physical therapists on the internet.
I'm Brad.
I'm Mike, and behind the scenes we have Bob, and together we are the most famous physical therapy team on the internet.
In our opinion, of course, and we have the spine today to give us a little more authority.
This is spiny. Anyway, what we want to talk about first is sciatica itself, and typically, how does that originate, Brad?
Well, we're looking at actually comes from the low back. You can see this red area here is actually represents a disc that's actually herniated or bulged right here. You can see it, the healthy discs above and below it do not look like that. That bulge actually impinges on one of the peripheral nerves, and that nerve goes down, becomes part of the sciatic nerve, and causes that pain, numbness, tingling, all these very irritating, painful sensations going down the leg, even to the toes.
So next we want to actually get into what causes these discs to weaken and herniate like that, but we need to get set up.
We're going to go over 3 major problems that create disc problems. Number one is the big one, posture, particularly in a seated position. Now, if I'm sitting here tall like this with good posture, I'm okay, but so many of us, so much of the time, end up slouching and rounding the back. You can say I'm slouched here. If you look at the spine and we look here, it actually stresses that area where the disc is bulging, can make it worse and really causes severe herniation, making it uncomfortable to get up, move around after this posture is sustained. Mike?
Now, this doesn't take a day to happen. This often has bad habits over years and years. That's why most people start developing sciatica later on in life. It's all these 8 hours a day at work in this posture can start wreaking havoc on your low back. So it's important to look at that. Now, the second part we want to talk about is flexion of the spine, like we talked about, bending over with compression. Now, what that means is either you're bearing weight through your back if you're, say, doing an exercise of sorts, or if you're just picking something up. So if I'm going to go pick up something heavy off the floor, if I have bad posture, I'm already having strain on my discs. Now, if I add weight and resistance to it, you've seen those people that go like this, and then they're in pain. So this is also adding a lot of compression to your spine. I'm not saying never pick up anything off the floor. Just have proper hinging mechanics when you're doing something. Picking it up the right way takes a lot of stress off of your back, but something to be aware of.
And finally, this is a big one. When you actually combine picking up with poor body mechanics, rounded like Mike is going to demonstrate, and then actually throwing the weight or moving the weight to the side, rotate. How you doing there?
I'm okay. I have a pretty sturdy back yet. I'm young, but...
Right. So if we look at the spine, we're putting stress on it and that flexion, which irritates it, and then twist and rotate it. Really, I mean, it's a hard time to even to do that with the model of the spine, which is actually quite accurate with the spine. So that's a big one. No bending and twisting with a load.
So anytime you're going to do any of these activities, just be aware of your posture and make sure the load you are moving is appropriate for you, not too heavy. Oftentimes, if you just have good mechanics, it can prevent these issues.
There you go. And if you do have it, now we're going to go over the solution on how you can do a simple stretch and a few different ways to do it so that the problem can be resolved. All right, now in the days of old, it was real common to have decompression or traction. That takes a lot of effort. You need a machine sometimes to do it. And we found out through Rick Olderman, who's discovered this. It's kind of a traction, but it's one-sided. You don't need anything special. You can use actually a door frame, which Mike is going to demonstrate the stretch to take the stress off of that nerve, relieving the pain. And I'm going to show another option using a stick.
Just so you can see my back more, I'll pretend I'm having pain and sciatica on my right side. So you're going to go to a doorway. If you happen to have a pull-up bar at a gym or at home, you can use a pull-up bar instead. That's perfectly fine. I'm going to reach my hand away from me on the same side of the door frame. And then I'm slowly going to lean into it like this. And I'm going to bend my knees. And this is actually where we're going to get that traction or decompressing of the spine. This will help take pressure off of that disc herniation you may be having. Now, this isn't going to fix everything long term, but if you're having an episode of intense pain, it can really help with that.
That's right. Now, if the door method isn't going to work because you're too short or too tall or some nature like that, you can simply use a stick, a piece of Dowling PVC pipe like I have here, and you can put it on a countertop or chair like this. Mike, can you take your shoe off, please? And then what I'm going to, now, if you don't have a rubber tip, you simply take...
I don't know how many people ask me for my shoe, but you can have it, I guess.
Yeah, mine's off. So, and that'll keep it from slipping, which is critical. Now, remember that that bulging disc is on the right side, pain going down the right leg. So we're going to actually open that up by doing the same thing Mike did, but holding on to the stick nice and tight up here so the hand does not slide down. Face palm is away from me. And I'm just going to lean into it. And you can see right here, things are stretching out, opening that gap, taking the pressure off of that nerve being pinched, and hold it. And then you can come back up and just rock it like that. You're going to have to work it a little bit to see which way really relieves that stress and that pain as much as you can. There you go. That feels good. All right.
How's my stinky shoe?
Yeah, that's enough of that. Anyways, yeah, so you can also do it in a seated position, although standing is probably going to be best. But if you do it on a seated position, I'm going to do just like this and stretch it out like this. And every time I lean, I can feel the same stretch as I did when I was standing. So it's a nice, simple stretch. I can release that pain and get you back into the walking, normal, pain-free life that you want.
Now, as for time duration with this stretch, just do what feels good and what you can tolerate. Maybe it's 10 seconds, maybe it's 30 seconds. And you can do this numerous times a day. You don't just have to do it once. Maybe every time you go through the doorway, just do a little stretching. It can really help get those muscles elongated again, decompress that spine. But we realize most people want more exercise options for sciatica. So if you want to click the video link on the screen, we talk more in depth and more stretches and exercises you can try.
Yeah. The title, only 1 in 5,000 know this about treating sciatica.
Glad my shoe's back on. It doesn't stink and my foot's warm now.
Mike. Okay. Good luck with your sciatica.
Okay, bye.
It could be a great option for you.
Bob and Brad, the two most famous physical therapists on the internet. Bob and Brad, the two most famous